Good morning. We're having roasted potatoes and a tofu scramble for breakfast, so I thought that I would show you how I make it. I already put the potatoes in the oven, but I'll show those to you in a few minutes. First, I'm going to put a little bit of water in my skillet. Just a little bit. And I'm going to saute. I have some green onions, I have a little bit of jalapeno, and I chopped some mini peppers, so that's why it looks so tiny. So I'm going to throw those in and just saute them for a few minutes just till they get soft. Maybe I need to turn on the stove. Saute those for a few minutes. So you can see all the different colors. We like to have every color in our meals. Each color provides a different antioxidant and a nutrient-rich ingredient that's important for our bodies. So you can hear them sizzling. So I use water. I don't cook with oil. There are some oils that are safe to heat. But if I can cook something that will taste delicious and not include the oil, then I just leave it out. So you can see I've just put the water in there. I still get some caramelization. So those are about good enough. I'm going to add a little bit of water to keep them from sticking. And then I've got my tofu. So we always buy organic tofu. Just cut it open and drain the water out. It is soaking in water. I don't know if you're familiar with tofu. You can see a little bit of water just came out. I didn't get it all out, but that's okay. It'll evaporate in a minute. And I have the block here. I'm going to just squish it all up till it crumbles. I can also break it up with my wooden spoon here, or a spatula. I'm using a wooden spoon since this is a non-stick pan. I didn't want to scratch the surface of the pan. All right, let me go wash my hands and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm just going to cook this until most of the water evaporates. You can see it kind of looks like scrambled eggs, except it's missing the yellow color. And so I'm going to add a little bit of turmeric to give it that yellow. Turmeric has been called a superfood. It's anti-inflammatory. It's also a cancer fighter. And in a lot of the countries where they traditionally use turmeric, they have very low Alzheimer's rates. And so it's also being researched for brain health. So it's good to add to different foods, but I'm just adding it for some color. So I'm just going to put a little bit. I'm going to put maybe half a teaspoon. I don't really want that flavor. I just want the color. So you can see we're starting to get more of a yellow color. I also am going to add a little bit of onion powder and a little bit of garlic powder. And some minced garlic that I chopped right before we turned on the camera. Now I'm adding it later because garlic does get bitter if it cooks too hot or too long, so I'm just adding it in. I'm also going to add some frozen peas, just for a little more protein, and some spinach. I have some organic spinach here. We don't have any growing in our yard right now, and so I'm just going to put in a couple of handfuls. And then I'm also going to use, this is liquid aminos. I have the Bragg's brand here. I'm allergic to wheat, and this is wheat-free soy sauce. You could use salt if you want to. You could, if you do, you might want to add a little bit of water. This is going to add some liquid. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons. Will you hand me another tablespoon? And then I'm going to add some nutritional yeast. This is Bragg's brand. It's full of B vitamins. It gives it a umami taste, or cheesy. We don't eat cheese, and so this will give us a little bit of cheesy flavor. So I'm going to put 2 tablespoons on there. If it starts to look too dry, then I'll add a little bit more water. I always just keep the water right here next to me. Alright, when I serve it, I'm going to top it with some sauteed oyster mushrooms that I sauteed beforehand and some green onions. My daughter doesn't want mushrooms on hers, so I'm leaving them out. Normally I would just throw them in. Alright, so let me show you the potatoes. These are my roasted potatoes. I just chopped them and put them on parchment paper. Once again, I don't use oil. I'm not going to pick them up because they're very hot, but they do have some brown coloring on them. They're still going to brown and be delicious. And then we can sprinkle some salt or seasoning on. I could have put seasoning on before I stuck them in the oven, but I wasn't sure what flavor I wanted to go with our tofu scramble. But I just baked them at 375 for about 20 minutes. And I leave the skins on. So a lot of people tell me they don't eat potatoes because they'll make them fat. It's just carbs, and they're afraid to eat carbs. These are so good for you. They're packed with nutrients, and the skin and the flesh are full of vitamins and minerals, potassium, and soluble and insoluble fiber to help feed the microbiome, to help with elimination and digestion. And also the nutrients that hold the skin to the flesh are very good for you. And so if I peeled them, I would lose a lot of vitamins and minerals. So I don't want to peel them. I'll leave the skins on. They are washed well. Buy organic when you can. Anyway, this is going to be a delicious breakfast.